Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of The Aftermath. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm joined by Dylan.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean Dylan. I meant Johnny Bravo is here with me today.
Do the monkey with me.
Oh, man. I hope like that.
Shit, on another topic, I missed that fucking show, dude.
Yeah.
God.
You want to talk about Unhinged? That's,
Yeah.
that's a good show.
Mm-hmm.
It's. I mean, you know,
It's so funny.
I'm pretty sure that's showing our age a little bit, but that's okay.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know what it is, go ahead and give it a look. It's funny.
Mhm.
So tonight,
Got a lot of sand.
oh,
Mhm.
I'm just gonna come right out and say it
Yeah.
right off the top.
Yep.
This is probably not the best interpretation of this franchise. And I think it's gonna. This one specifically, I think, is gonna warrant a second watch from me to fully comprehend what all happened.
Because there's a lot that happens.
There's a lot that happens.
There's a shit ton of stuff that happens.
We watched the original, or at least what I think is the original, 1984 Dune.
Yes.
I have been seeing nothing but great things from people that I trust saying that Dune Part 2 is a great film.
Yeah.
I've heard great things about the first Dune being really good.
Right.
Being shot well, the costume designs obviously look amazing.
Mhm.
The actors in it are, I mean, top class. So I can only imagine that
Grade A.
they're probably wonderful movies. Very good films. And specifically, I've heard people say that Part 2 is really ramping that up to be its own special thing. And I wager, and I could be wrong, but if this podcast has taught me anything about myself, is that I'm a sucker for a good, well thought and planned through sequel.
Right.
I like the second ones when they're done well.
Mhm.
And hearing what I've heard without any spoilers, but just like the very surface level opinions of it.
Right.
I have a feeling that if I like the first one, I probably will fall in love with the second one.
Here's hoping.
Possibly.
Let's remain optimistic.
But I'm going to have to also be honest, and this may shock some people.
Mhm.
This may ruffle some feathers,
Yeah.
but that's okay. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to jostle you up every now and then. Not like that. I didn't mean it like that. I meant like in the aspect of,
You'd best watch out,
yeah,
folks.
yeah, right. I'm here to
Ian's in a jostle.
I'm here to ruffle something.
He's coming for you.
I have never read nor seen Dune.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, over the course of the past couple of years, I think I have learned more about the surface level plot.
Right. Through hearsay or what have you.
Right. And I know a little bit about, I can't remember the name. What is the name he gets given?
Paul Muad'Dib.
Muad'Dib. I've heard of the name Muad'Dib before. That's like the, all the stuff that goes on with that. But again, once you start getting
Worm Rider.
once you start getting into the details is when I don't know anything about it.
So humanity has advanced far enough in this timeline. They actually give it a year.
10,000.
Yeah.
10,800.
191.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I believe. And interstellar travel has been achieved.
Right.
Multiple planets have been colonized, run by different houses that work
They're like royal
and
families.
serve under an emperor. I love how they describe it. They highlight the 4 planets of the main factions we deal with.
Yes.
And the last one, I can't remember the name of it, of course, but it is described as the home planet of the emperor of the known universe.
Yes. That is the official title of that world.
Imagine.
Yeah.
You have to have explored a sizable chunk to be known as emperor of the known universe.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's crazy.
It's baffling to me.
Right. But at the same time, it's also,
They've developed the means to do just that.
Right.
By way of folding space to move without movement.
Which I like the idea of, because I think for me, one thing that everyone talks about in sci-fi stuff, at least ever since the theory of relativity or whatever comes about, time dilation and all that becomes a problem in the real world.
Mhm.
And I like the idea of a folding space is that you travel without moving or whatever, which I'm like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah, so I like that a lot. That's a cool premise, and I think it also helps. It helps to connect the dots between sci-fi and reality of some way, and if there was a way to
adds a bit of believability,
right
in some regard at the very least.
Yeah. So I haven't read Dune. I am a very big fan of J.R. Tolkien, and a little history lesson. If you guys don't know this, I'm pretty sure that the author of Dune, I don't want to misquote anything or whatever, but I watched some videos on it that I think basically it's named Frank
Herbert.
Yeah, Frank Herbert, I believe, sent a copy out to Tolkien and be like, "Hey, dude, just check this out. Let me know what you think about it.
Give me your 2 cents, please. It's the most valuable 2 cents I'll ever receive."
Right. And Tolkien didn't say anything. Didn't say anything back. And I think he was taking the if I don't have anything nice to say, I won't say anything at all kind of approach. And he was like, the writing isn't bad. It's just not my cup of tea. I don't like it. And that was what. So, and I think that there's other things that he didn't like about it as well. I think it's mostly because Tolkien, as everyone knows, did not like. He liked. He liked things referencing the real world in some way, but but it wasn't a 1-to-1 allegory.
Right.
He hated allegory, and I think that Dune in its writing had a lot of allegorical references to things like that. So direct references to humanity and society and stuff like that, which he was not a big fan of. But regardless, that was fun. That I've been hearing a lot about Dune for obvious reasons because it's very topical right now.
Been around for a while. Pretty
Exactly.
popular.
Well, it not only that, but it's hitting its like second wind now.
Yeah,
it's obviously a very for anyone that enjoys sci-fi novels or sci-fi in general, it is very highly touted as if you enjoy like the writing of Tolkien, if you enjoy like these like big massive worlds and this expansive universe.
It a cornerstone.
Supposedly
as far
it
as
is.
Sci-fi goes.
Supposedly, like I could be wrong, and I mean obviously I'm always down to be wrong. I mean anyone can correct me, but from what I've been told, there's people out there that are like, finally Dune's getting the recognition that it kind of has been deserving from like a larger audience, because there's been I think a smaller audience that has been like
I mean I've always seen references to it in other media before,
of course,
but
Mentats and all that,
right.
like that, the whole thing being a
man.
direct Fallout reference or Fallout referencing that from Dune, I believe. So anyways, it's been around for a long time. People love it. It's a very beloved series, and I think it's also been supposedly it's been hard to adapt into film for numerous reasons.
Right. Which isn't surprising.
Right.
The books are fucking expansive, man. It's insane.
There's 6 of them, and I haven't read them, but I want to, and I've been really considering picking up the first book and giving it a shot. And also I want to watch the new movies.
Right.
We unfortunately don't have the first movie yet.
Not yet.
But you had the original one.
What better place to start?
And I was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and let's have a romp down a 1980s lane. And and boy,
what was the last 80s flick we watched? Do you remember?
Probably some action flick or something.
I wouldn't doubt it.
You're right. If you discount Godzilla, I'm not sure. I don't. I mean, let's just still a little look.
The last one that comes to mind, at least as far as like a classic goes, it's Commando.
Yeah, Good Will Hunting, I think, was in the 90s, I believe. Not really an 80s flick.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy, I think this is gonna go back a little while.
Passage of time is convoluted.
Yeah, The Blob. The Blob was 1988, and that was back in October.
Wow. Oh my
if you
god.
if you want to consider that was an 80s flick. I feel like
Jesus.
through and through. That was our last one.
Wowzers.
Yeah, you're telling me. Anyways, so I've been really my algorithm has been flooded with Dune stuff because obviously I've been looking into it. I've been trying to looking at ordering the first book and you know trying to start the collection possibly. So and with all that, I wanted to watch this movie because I've heard that it was good and bad in its own regard. And so, for numerous reasons.
Mm.
And so, we watched it, and it didn't disappoint.
Yeah.
That was
I'll be honest, man. I can't pick out anything I didn't like about it.
the only thing that I would say I didn't like about it is that I think that they the passage of time kind of felt a little convoluted.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad, but it's just as a first time viewer not knowing the lore of the books.
Right. After certain like milestones, it'll be like, okay, and then all this happened, and now we're here.
Right. And so and if I had the knowledge of the books to kind of fill in the gap a little bit, where I can go,
it'd be more likely that you'd just be like, oh, they skipped
right, exactly. Or I can go like, oh, that's this checkpoint, and now we're here,
right,
at this checkpoint. So for again, I wouldn't say that I was ever lost. It just kind of felt like a hang up.
Yeah,
like it was just weird enough where I was like, wait, what? And then like I was like, oh, okay, I guess that makes sense. We're in the future now, I guess.
Yeah.
But the movie, like the pacing of the movie felt slow.
Yeah.
It felt a little like not bad, but it just everything kind of felt like it lingered a little bit. Like not again, I'm not meaning this in a bad way. I'm just at my observations of like how this movie just kind of felt a little campy.
Yeah.
Where like it just kind of had its moments, and it was just like, and everything just kind of felt very. Maybe that's just like modern cinema where like scenes are very quick.
Everything's real snappy.
Right. And whereas this just kind of felt like we like lingered around a little bit and sometimes for creep factor, sometimes for like, more dramatic factor.
Yeah.
But I just noticed there was a couple of times where it was like, oh, wow, we're just kind of, everything felt a little like it had room to breathe a little bit, which is kind of interesting.
The close-up shots of that third stage navigator I could have done without because that thing is grotesque.
Yeah.
Those are the beings that are able to fold space-time.
Yeah.
By the way.
Gross.
Yeah. Crazy-ass floating slug people.
Yeah. They got
mutated from spice exposure.
Is that what that is?
Yeah. Yeah, they explain what they are at the top of the film.
I remember a little bit about that, but I thought that was like that they were like a different race of things.
They might as well be.
Yeah,
not even.
I don't like that they kept like zooming in on their like
their weird fucking like
mouth that's like spewing shit out.
Yeah,
gross.
Surrounded by porous cheeks. It's disgusting.
It's nasty.
Can't stand them.
This feels like a pseudo 80s horror flick. I don't mean a horror, like thriller. Like it has that same sort of everything in the 80s that was a practical effect had that kind of rubbery prosthetic feel about it.
Yeah.
In like a gross way. So it feels very iconic, the kind of like gore and grossness of this film.
Yeah.
And it reminds me a lot of The Thing.
Oh yeah,
in a very, very toned down way. But movies like that, or like a couple of the Terminator scenes where like his skin falls off, and like you can tell it feels like prosthetic stuff that kind of like happens, and it just feels very 80s prosthetic.
Yeah.
It just feels so part of its time, and so gross, and makes it.
Oh yeah,
it makes me feel something where I'm like, oh, I just don't. I don't like
violent
this.
Gag.
The Baron.
Oh,
what's it? Yeah. The shit. What is
Baron Vladimir?
Yeah, I can't. What is that?
Kromekian or Kromekian? I can't remember the name of his people.
Shit. Oh, hold on. I'll find it. There's the gross Baron.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it'll be somewhere. But
You just trying to think of his name, or
The character Harkonnen. What? I hate that it cuts off the name Harkonnen.
mm-hmm.
I was thinking Baron Vladimir Harkonnen.
Yeah.
I was thinking just the name Baron Harkonnen.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just the actor did a great performance.
Oh
with
yeah,
just the crazy. I mean, off his rocker.
Debaucherous.
Just
Delinquent.
dirty. It reminds me of is it in 40K? Is it Zinch?
Nurgle.
Nurgle's the one I'm thinking of.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. That whole clan just reminds me of a Nurgle
Dude would have
fest.
been an avatar of Nurgle.
Yeah,
easily.
hands down. They all just feel gross and just kind of. I don't like it.
Absolutely disgusting.
I don't understand. Again, this may make more sense if I actually read the books, but the fact that he's got like these festering sores on his face
pustules.
that they're like harvesting,
Cultivating diseases.
but why?
I have no idea.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, is there some sort of, and then like his doctor like praises him for how.
Gross he is.
Yeah, and I'm like,
it's straight up just a Nurgle cult.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't like this at all.
Yeah, it's gross.
So anyways, the movie is very unique and its delivery of how this whole world is being unfolded before us in this kind of interesting film.
Interesting
I think
tidbit is that you said it reminded you of Homeworld in the deserts of
Kara. Yeah. There's a couple of scenes where we see some vehicles. I think I felt this way with the newer Dune also, but I haven't seen it though, so I don't actually know. But like, there's a couple of shots where they're in the desert and there's like these big big sand worms, and then there's like these,
but not just any worms.
Yeah,
they're Arakan Dune worms.
Dune worms. And it's it reminded me of some of because there's also like families or parties involved, and that was a big thing that we watched. I think you showed me, or I watched. I think you may have sent me a video of like the kind of overarching story of Deserts of Karak.
Yeah.
From Homeworld. And for those of you who don't know, Homeworld is a like outer space turn-based strategy game.
Yeah, old school RTS.
Right. And then Deserts of Karak is like a spin-off game that's like on this desert planet, and it's all ground-based RTS.
Works as a prequel.
Yeah.
It's easily one of my favorites in the series.
Did I say turn-based? I meant real-time strategy if I said turn-based. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Both of the games are real-time strategy, not turn-based.
Right.
But anyways, in Deserts of Karak, you have like this big land vehicle that's like your main base, and you can
like a PC land carrier.
You know, the land carrier.
It's so flippin'
But you have like
cool.
different differing tribes or clans or whatever they're called in the game. They kind of are vying for different reasons, and I think one of them is kind of like a crazy desert cult.
Yeah,
right?
one of them is like the super like zealous sand folk that have taken up residence in a forbidden like just section of the planet.
So anyways, there's a lot of like tie-ins where I feel like I could be wrong, but maybe Deserts of Karak are also kind of like grabbing some Dune references. But,
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
But still, I thought it was interesting. Looking at all the visuals, I was like, oh, this feels very much like that game.
Yeah. Man.
But yeah. There's a lot of... I don't know about the story of the books. I feel like we did miss out on some things, but like...
There's major differences, as always, with movie adaptations for books.
Was there anything that stood out to you that was...
I mean, I love the worms. Never going to get sick of those things.
Oh, yeah.
Just because of how massive they are.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
They have like a 3-mouth opening.
Yeah, they remind me of Tremors.
Tremors, that's what it is.
Right. Graboids.
I was trying to think because I was like, I know that like if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's the Sarlacc pit has like a, but it only has like a, like it's a,
Right, it's like a beak.
yeah, it's like a beak, like a, almost said bi opening, not tri opening. I don't know what it's called, just a regular like hinging jaw that opens. But it felt like that, and it's very interesting.
Yeah, I think other than a T-Rex, these are the only other things I would fear, just because of how fucking massive they are.
I didn't watch the whole video, but I started to watch a video talking about gigantophobia, the fear of big things, and how there's a lot of games recently that have been shying away from doing jump scares and like atmospheric horror with like, you know, darkness and all that kind of stuff, like the tropes have been played out, but just like being a small thing in a big world, or like being a small person up against like a giant enemy or something like that is a big...
Dude, my number one fear, like my number one horror scenario that will always get me, is exploring some huge place that is supposedly abandoned, and then as you explore, you find out that you're not alone.
Oh, yeah.
That's fucking terrifying to me.
That is terrifying.
It's kind of like a maze effect, where if I'm put into a maze and something else is in the maze.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like that.
No, of course not. Well, for me, I don't know what has triggered this, but a lot of the liminal space stuff online.
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, you know, everyone knows about it now because it's kind of blown popularity. But before, it was like really over-popularized and super cool. Yeah. Like the premise, like the early premise of like the back rooms.
Oh, yeah.
Where like you were lost in this like...
Or you can just appear there
random. By moving incorrectly.
Horrific.
Yes. But also just being stuck in there and not getting out. Yeah. But then obviously, like, you know, the idea of there also being something else in there is terrifying as well. But for me, like one thing I've realized, like, obviously that right there is like fear. That's horror. Yeah. But there is, I think people get a sense of nostalgia out of the like liminal space things. I think they get an uneasy, if I'm not mistaken, from what people have told me, they get an uneasiness. They like it. They like the premise, or they like the feeling of it. Or it just makes them think, or whatever. For me, like there, I've looked at a couple of videos and a couple of pictures, and for some reason, whenever things are just off, it makes my hair stand up. And just talking about it's kind of making me a little weirded out. But it's like, being in some sort of liminal space like that, and then something about that being off. Like, for instance, like I watched a video one time where like you're on a street and it's like there's no cars, it's like kind of dark outside, but there's like street lights on, and it just feels like it has like this liminal space vibe, but the stop sign is spelled backwards. Oh. And it's like something little about that just makes it feel a little off. That for some reason it's like mirrored. It's like all the letters are backwards. Yeah. So like but anyways, I don't know what it is. Yeah. But just like looking at it, like, or just thinking about it, the conceptual idea of it just puts me on edge. And like I think it's just the definition of like I get anxious. Yeah. I'm just like I
didn't think about it that way at the time, but whenever me and Chase went to the old...
Oh, no.
Dude, because I remember, like, we used to take little family trips there every day. I'm sure I told you before.
Yeah. There was, again, for anybody out there, there was, like, a local mall that we had around us that obviously they had, like, a smaller kind of, like, one-floor level, like, kind of mall. Yeah. And they built a bigger one kind of like downtown. It's like 2 stories, had more space in it and stuff. And so eventually that smaller one ended up kind of getting phased out. All the big department stores all left, and like everything else in America, malls kind of dwindled away.
Right, just kind of became abandoned.
Of course.
Like the
Slowly but
doors
surely.
were still open.
Yep.
Like you could still walk into this place and just walk around because there were still places open in there, and I had no idea.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
but now I think they tore down a lot of it, and it's now an Amazon shipping facility.
yeah, like
which
a
is
big ass
sad.
warehouse.
Yeah,
crazy.
but yeah, I have a cousin of mine who moved up to Arkansas,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "Yeah, dude, we need to come out to this." I think it was his wife at the time. They liked to shop at this like kind of department store,
Mm-hmm.
and it was in a mall, but same sort of thing. The store was hopping, and it had like a parking lot entrance, and then in the quote unquote like back or main entrance, whatever you want to consider it, in the back of it you had the entrance into like the rest of like the mall walkway.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude. I've never been in like a real liminal space vibe until like, and this was like midday afternoon.
Yeah.
Walked out into this open area where it was a fountain that was empty, and it was a bunch of stores that were all closed down, and all the lights were turned off. And like the only light that was in there was like barely light from like the glass sunroofs and stuff. It was creepy. I like walked around for a second and I was like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
This feels weird. Yeah. So
Freaky.
I don't know how we got onto all that. Let's go ahead and divert this back around. Worms. I didn't know the what are the like space witches? What are they called again?
I can't remember.
Remember their names.
But yeah, it's like this coven of the super powerful witches that keep tabs on all the houses and manipulate them to suit their needs. But yeah, them's freaky. Them's
Stuff.
crazy. They can apparently just control people with a certain manner of speaking.
Yeah.
Which is already insane.
Oh yeah. They can also like hear like the cool thing about like this whole spice thing is that the spice like extends
life and expands your consciousness. It's crazy. Right.
And I think some of it allows you like to read thoughts. That was
some sort of telepathy.
That was what I thought was a cool take on this movie that I think helped it out in some way, but I also don't know if that was intentional or again, I never read the source material, so I don't know what the whole premise of it is.
Right.
But like the cool thing is if you for instance, if you read a book, you usually read the book from the first person perspective of the main character. Or you at least get some sort of like thought. You can read the thoughts of the main character because it's written on the page, as in like he, like blah 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 is what I thought in this moment or whatever, or he may it expresses the feeling by writing it out in words. Whereas instead of that, for a movie, you have to glean that from the actor's performance.
Right.
So it's like instead of like you have these colorful words that can paint a picture of someone's thoughts and feelings and emotions in their head. On the screen, a lot of times they don't put those words there.
Right.
They just have the actor feel or act a certain way. In this movie, because there's like quote unquote telepathy or mind reading, a lot of times we also just hear our main character's thought process.
Right. Everybody's got their own inner monologue.
Right. But specifically, it all kind of comes from the idea of like our main character can also hear it. So it's also it still feels rooted in so we're still following our main character. So whenever like this person is like think talking, where again like where the camera's on them and like their voice is a little echoey, we can tell that like it's because our main character is kind of like reading into their thoughts a little bit.
Now that may be the case like later on,
right?
As the skill actually like develops within him and he starts that whole awakening process.
Of course,
but early on in the film, I want to say it's like from each character's own perspective.
Interesting.
That those thoughts are just happening.
I still thought that he was still he may not have understood it as clearly as we were, but it felt like he was understanding what was happening.
Yeah.
A lot of times he would say something, and then the other character would be like, "I think he knows what's happening," and it's like, exactly, yes, he does.
Yeah, as soon as his father is killed, it's like, damn.
Yeah,
I know what I got to do.
Exactly. But it's
The
like
sleeper must awaken.
I just thought it was cool. I thought it was cool that there may have done it in other movies before or even after, but I haven't watched very many of them.
Oh yeah, no. As far as I'm concerned, this is like one of a kind.
Besides, what I can say that they do this in is now it may be a trope. It may not be in every anime, but anime they do this a lot.
Yeah,
where again we get the like inner monologue of the character for a moment,
breaking down an entire situation or the structure of a move or something like that.
Exactly, or overthinking a situation or a problem or something. Well, and I feel like that's like a common trope.
Right, they'll do that shit for like a full minute.
Yeah,
we get nice little concise pieces with this, which I actually kind of like.
Exactly, and I think it's an interesting take for like a cinema movie,
a cinema movie, if you would.
Yeah. Man,
it's crazy.
It's just
there's so much.
There's so much to unpack. It's hard for me to even put into words. What else? What else did the director
David Lynch?
What else has David Lynch done?
He's done a ton of stuff.
I know he has. I just don't remember what some of them are. Twin Peaks.
Yep.
The Elephant Man.
Yeah, big names.
Yeah. I was trying to think. I thought he did one in particular that I'm...
Recall.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, who's to say?
Yeah.
He's done a ton of stuff.
You want to know what else it made me feel like? There's a few moments where after this whole awakening sequence happens and and things start changing and everything's all different.
He becomes that guy.
Yeah, he really becomes that guy.
Dude, he's him.
He's him for real, the
super being.
It reminds me of 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah,
there's a few moments of there's these he's having these he stares off into the stars and he glances at the second moon and then he has this elaborate
the revelation.
He calls it a waking dream and it is a revelation. He has this and it's whoa, whoa, and then and then he has there's a whole hand that fades in and comes closer to the screen, don't know what that means, but yeah, I'm we're
right.
here.
We'll find out.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Guess. Yeah.
And then he just turns to his mother you're pregnant with my little sister. She's just
how does he know?
Dude, he's him.
Yeah, oh shit, he's him.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts.
It's awesome.
I think his sister was one of my favorite parts of the film.
Oh my god, dude.
She's a little...
So, dude, there's these... Okay, so... I think the more powerful of those space witches can speak normally and still command more pliable people, more simple-minded people,
right, seamlessly.
Exactly. But there's a moment where they can switch their voice over to this kind of pseudo demon voice that's whoa, whoa,
right, that some kind of crazy filter.
Right. It has a deeper version to their voice and it's kind of grovelly. And dude, there's this moment where his little sister at the very end is talking with the emperor of the known universe. And is sitting there and is I
am a messenger from Muad'Dib.
Yeah. And she says something about I forgot what they say.
One of the Reverend Mother is just kill this little girl. She's an abomination.
Yeah.
And she's shut the fuck up, bitch.
Yeah.
Go ahead and tell him who I am.
Yeah. I am the sister of Muad'Dib. And
yeah.
Oh my god.
And he's just what?
What?
Impossible.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's I love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild.
Oh,
Her character is interesting, and then I like the whole sequence where, and this is another one of those moments where I feel like things got rushed a little bit because I think they just like jumped around after their like spacecraft crashes into the sand. They're like kind of like running around the mountain, and they eventually run away from the sandworm,
right?
And they stumble across like the desert farers. What were they called?
I cannot remember.
Damn it.
I can't remember any of the names, dude.
What are they? I remember their. I
started with an F.
Oh shit! It's
Fremen.
Fremenic.
Okay.
Or Fremen. I don't know.
Something along those lines.
Something along those lines.
Somebody will correct us.
Yeah.
But yeah, super cool desert folk.
I think it's just the Fremen. I was adding an extra little something. Whenever they stumble across them, and like there's a whole, it feels very fast.
Oh yeah,
where they like
almost horrifying.
They start to fight.
Right. They just walk into a crowd of them.
Right. They walk into the main base, and it's like, well, shit. I think we're in
hello.
Yeah, we're in a bad spot now. The thing is, like, the mother, who was one of those like space witches. Hold on a second.
Straight up puts the leader in a chokehold.
Yeah, and like, trust me, I'm gonna kill you.
Right. Don't
make
me do it.
And starts like saying, like speaking in her special voice.
Right. And the dude's just like, holy shit.
And everyone's like, I can't move.
Teach me your ways.
Yeah. Oh gosh, what are they called?
Who are you looking for?
Reverend Mother. The Bene Gesserit.
Oh, okay.
Sisterhood.
Mm-hmm.
I was just trying to think of the name of them.
Yeah. There's a lot of names they throw around.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of big
made up words.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyways, so they're
right after seeing how fucking badass they are, they're like, "We can you teach us how to do that?"
Yeah.
My favorite part is whenever the training montage starts, when Paul starts like training them how to use the modules.
Yeah.
And this stone here, is it your strongest? And of course they're like, yeah, kick it.
Yeah, kick it.
Punch it. Yell at it.
Yeah.
And the dude just yells, break!
Yeah, it's great. I mean,
it's perfect.
What else should you, whenever your leader asks you to shout at a stone,
you do it.
Yeah. Why? That's what I would say. What would you say?
Right, how loud, sir? And he then
you don't ask what to say. You ask how loud to say it.
Right. He pulls out one of these modules and just screeches, and it like projects his voice to such a frequency that it shatters the stone.
Oh, explodes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, all right.
A voice is power.
Yeah. So it's
audio weaponry. Wave of the future.
It is a unique
the
movie.
Tiniticizer 1000.
The Tiniticizer. Dude, there's a lot of there. I mean, there's so much to unpack with this movie.
Yeah,
because in that moment, like he ends up seeing, what's her name? He ends up seeing the girl, and Channy, I think it's her name.
Yeah.
He ends up seeing her, and then of course, like she's like talking to him.
Right.
And
Tell me about your home world.
It has that moment where like her voice kind of fades away, and all we see is like him going, "It's the woman from my dreams."
Right. It's like, oh shit. Initially, I was like, wait, you already? Oh wait.
No wait. Oh shit.
Like, I haven't rehearsed for this. I don't know what to say.
I've already had this one-sided conversation, but I don't know what I say in that moment.
Right. A vision from my future.
Right. And then I'm talking breakneck speed.
Mm-hmm.
Like after a short montage with the whole scream weapons.
Right. They start smooching.
I mean, they're just like, I'm like, oh my God.
It's like, Jesus Christ.
There was no lead up. There was no nothing. It was like, I'm going to teach her people. He briefly teaches them, and now he's full tongue in her mouth.
Maybe tell me about your home world means something different on that planet.
I'll tell you about my home world, baby.
Oh man.
Let me show you my my what is it? Arrakis.
Yeah.
My Arrakis Dune worm.
Oh my god. Oh Jesus.
Yeah. So anyways, it's wild.
Mm-hmm.
I love the kind of like pseudo magic that we have
Oh, dude,
with
it's so cool.
the Bene Gesserit.
Mm-hmm.
I think I said that earlier, but it's just like the idea of like this
Words of power.
Yeah. Interesting kind
Almost like the Thum.
Exactly.
Only not quite as simple.
Just everyone's riding a worm. Fos Roda! Just like screaming. Holding these little weapons and just blasting. And that's like
That's straight up what it is.
It's thunderclap.
Shouts.
Yeah, I love it. Oh, I love whatever they also have whenever they're like attacking the emperor,
mm-hmm.
and they like hop on like the gun go round.
Oh yeah,
the
dude.
merry-go-gun.
What the fuck was that
I don't
thing,
know,
man?
It just like spun around and then had a bunch of like screens on it. You would like they're all.
It's like a regular gunnery station, only it spins.
I want you to imagine a merry-go-round.
Mm-hmm.
That goes around and around, and like you ride, like it goes. Let's say in this instance, it goes clockwise.
Yeah,
and like so, you're all hopped on your like little horse as it's like carouseling around clockwise.
Right.
Just imagine that, but all
the horse has a gun.
All the horses face inside.
Yeah.
So you're facing towards the center column
mm-hmm.
of the merry-go-round, so it spins around. So your back is now behind you, spinning around.
Uh-huh.
And each one of them is like a gun turret mount or whatever that I guess wirelessly transmits to the outside world.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it's a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun with that. I was look
yeah.
at that little Ferris wheel. Not Ferris wheel.
Right.
Look at that little carousel.
Oh man.
Yeah.
The merry gun round.
The merry gun round. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me read some of these little fun facts for you.
Yeah. What kind of insider deets do you have?
This first one, I mean, it doesn't get much better than this.
Doozy, yeah.
Yeah. Fade Routha was
the one clean-looking,
yes,
whatever the fuck they were called in the whole movie. Was
originally to have stepped out of the steam bath nude.
Oh no!
The actor Sting had agreed to shoot the scene nude, but the studio had panicked and told the costume.
It's like, wait, no.
Had told the costume designers that they had to put something on him instead.
Yeah, they made this crazy ass looking cod piece.
The skimpy winged G-string he wore was made almost at the very last minute before the scene was set to film. You're right, and it was like a winged cod piece.
It was so weird.
It's weird. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, it fits his character.
Right. The dude is absolutely fiending to get his hands on Paul and kill him.
Yeah.
As if prophesized.
The suits worn by the guild members were body bags that were found in a disused fire station dating back to the early 1920s.
Oh my god.
The bags had actually been used several times.
Ugh.
Something that was kept from the cast members until after shooting was complete.
Oh my god.
God, that's awful.
Cadaverific, dude.
Yikes.
Holy shit. I'd have fucking sued.
That's nasty.
Ugh. You got fucking dead people germs on me.
Sir Patrick Stewart's casting of Gurney Halleck was actually a mistake.
What?
In a rush to replace another actor, the director David Lynch thought he'd hired a different person who was also named Patrick Stewart.
Oh my god. Imagine. You get some no-name Patrick Stewart and you end up with Sir Patrick Stewart.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Sir Patrick Stewart at the time was completely unfamiliar about who Sting was as a musician.
Oh, wow.
When meeting him on set, he asked if he was a solo artist, to which Sting replied he was in a band called The Police. Stewart, totally unaware, thought Sting played in a police band.
Oh, my God.
That's perfect. I love that.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Writer and director David Lynch has said he considered this movie the only real failure of his career.
Wow.
To this day, he refuses to talk about the production in great deal and has refused numerous offers to work on a special edition DVD.
Damn.
Lynch had always claimed that revisiting the movie would be too painful an experience to endure. As of 2024,
Yo, what the fuck happened?
Lynch has clarified that a director's cut is impossible, as Dino De Laurentiis never allowed him to shoot scenes the way he wanted to, or to take liberties with the source material Lynch felt he needed to.
Okay.
Got it. But
So
also, supposedly this was a box office failure.
Damn.
Upon its release. I believe the budget of the film was about $42 million, but the box office was only $30 million. So it flopped.
Just shy. That's a shame.
Yeah.
Became a cult classic, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it definitely is. The reviews online.
As John Carpenter would say, well, what the fuck good does that do me now?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, man.
Man, David, I
still can't get over that, man.
John Carpenter makes me
Jesus.
sad sometimes.
I know.
That guy deserves so much more.
Oh.
Poor guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. What a fun time.
Right. Yeah, I think that's probably one of my favorite movies.
So far, I think the casting for the new movie is super good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
That's
casting that I'm seeing for this new film, I mean, they got they took every one of the original characters from like that film and they just like cranked it up, dude.
Really?
Yeah, like just all the they're just big. They're big name actors. They're great.
Nice.
Let me see real fast. Hold on. I want to get the names.
Yeah. Let's play a little game of Guess Who.
Obviously, we know the main actor, Timothée Chalamet. He's been very big recently, taking over the whole, taking over everything.
Yeah.
He played Paul. And then another big actor that's been around is Florence Pugh. She also played Princess Irulan. Zendaya, we all know she has done Chani.
Right.
What was the other guys?
Other guy.
Josh Brolin is Gurney Halleck.
Ooh.
Who's the big? Christopher Walken is the Emperor.
Are you
not kidding you?
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The guy who plays Baron Vladimir is Stellan Skarsgård.
Dude.
Super good.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's
Like
nuts.
They got some good people in here. So, anyways, it's
not
like
all who I was expecting.
I know, but the thing is, and then actor, I don't know what he does. It's Tim Nelson.
Actor.
Anyways, just a bunch of really great actors that are all. And then, of course, I think in this, I don't think he was in the first one, but in part 2, Fade Routha, came on to scene, and that's Austin Butler, and he, he's known for all kinds of things.
Yeah.
He played a very good Elvis recently.
Huh.
Dave Bautista.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah, he plays the big guy,
the Beast.
the Ray Rabin or whatever.
Yeah.
The Beast Rabin.
No,
he plays him. So it's like, like I said, like every character that like you see, I'm like, oh yeah, I could definitely see them. Yeah,
that's looking pretty good.
It's looking like a pretty good cast. So I just think at the very least, that's what I mean. Is I think that is it a perfect 1-to-1 comparison to the actual books? Probably not.
Of course not.
But is it probably a well written and fun story? I would imagine.
Definitely.
And then not only that, like you got all these big names in here, dude. I'm like, oh yeah, it's gonna be
sure to deliver. Meryl.
Dennis. I'm gonna probably pronounce this very wrong. Villeneuve. Villeneuve. It looks French.
It looks French.
Look. This is he's a Canadian filmmaker, which is why I said potentially French. It says it's Villeneeuve. Villeneuve. Anyways, he's this guy named Dennis. He's the guy who did Blade Runner 2049, Dune Part 1, Dune Part 2, The Arrival, Sicario. So like he's done some pretty big stuff. So I'm like, hey, I think he did a pretty good job.
Really reputable.
He's probably gonna do a pretty good job. So, yeah. I can't wait to watch the newer ones. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
More sandy, wormy adventures await.
Dude, I'm not even going to lie though. I gotta watch this one again later.
Yeah.
Just to really sink my teeth into this one because I was like,
by all means,
I felt pretty attentive and I was like,
still end up lost in a few places.
Yeah.
That's just how
it also doesn't help. It doesn't help that like I've had a long week / long day.
You and me both.
And dude, so like I'm already kind of like I'm just kind of exhausted. And the fact that it's Thursday. Ooh. I didn't tell the time though. I just said the day. Okay, well, for those of you listening,
they'll never know.
Whenever you're listening to this episode, just know we recorded it the night before,
right?
Which normally doesn't happen. We get at least a little bit of leeway, but now it's late. It's late. We're all tired, and I was like, I the Bene Gesserit, Paul Abu Dhabi. I already know what his name is.
Worms.
Herm.
Oh,
so yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this, and I think it also has gotten me more. The good thing is, it's gotten me more interested to know the greater story of Dune.
Yeah,
I want to actually go pick up the book now and go read it. And the cool thing is too is that Spotify has audiobooks now.
Oh yeah,
I think they probably had them before. But I don't know, in the past, like, couple of years.
It's just not something I looked into as far as, like, Spotify goes.
No, not even that. I think it's that I think their repertoire has increased in the past couple of years. I think they may have had a few, but it was like you had to either purchase them or something like that. I don't know.
Few and far between.
Yeah, I don't. And again, it wasn't something I would go in search of. But like recently, they started to get recommended to me, and I started listening to Andy Serkis read The Hobbit. And I've read The Hobbit a handful of times. I love it. It's a great book. But man,
my favorite.
Does Andy Serkis do a great job of reading The Hobbit. It's just, I mean, it's so good. He's not only is a great actor, so like I think he also it comes across that he knows the source material very well, because I wouldn't be surprised if he did. And so like it just feels so natural and feels like, I don't know, in the best way. It feels like your dad telling you like a story, like reading a story to you almost. I don't know. It's really cool. And I haven't gotten to where Bilbo meets Smeagol in the cave yet, but I know that
it's gonna be perfect
in the cave where Gollum and Bilbo. Dude, I just know for a fact he's gonna whip out the voice. I hope. I'm like, please.
He's got to.
Yeah. I just got recently to the point where he's talking about the trolls and the whole arguing of the trolls and all that kind of stuff, and he does like the whole. I mean, it was so great where he was like, "Oh, you don't," and like he did the whole voice for it, and it was perfect. And I was like, "Oh, that's great."
Nice.
Because it's the way, again, you read Bilbo, and he kind of feels like a more put together kind of gentlemanly character,
proper,
and like it's just the way in which he interjects, where like he like talks like the ogres. Or the trolls, sorry. He's like, oh, whoa. He's like, and of course, and then interjects in a very sly way, like, and of course that's how awful they sound.
Right.
Anyways, like it just like, but I know it's written like that, but it feels very natural. Anyways, it's cool. So like I think that also on Spotify, I think they have the first book on Audible as well. So I may read it and then like listen to it afterwards to also kind of like, to really understand the kind of
go the extra mile,
nuances of that first book.
Mm-hmm.
But I looked online for a couple of like book series, like a collection set.
Mm-hmm.
So if I like the first one enough, I may just go ahead and buy the full set, possibly.
Sounds like a plan.
At that point, because I like to have the full complete set or something. So
and for a penny and for a pound.
Yeah, especially because I'm also a sucker of like a matching set of things.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't get the full matching set, I do feel a little bit like I was almost there.
Yeah. What have I done?
Right.
I've wasted this.
Yeah. So there's a whole like new art style for them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like a little 6-book collection set that I may pick up.
Sweet.
So. But yeah. Well, is there anything else you want to touch on this episode?
Well, Grand Blue got an update.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Added Lucilius as a boss fight. Motherfucker's the hardest thing in the game right now.
The 12-wing angel.
I've only beaten him twice so far.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you did a few more times than that.
Oh, no. Not yet. But I will. Oh,
Dylan,
man.
for my birthday, he got me the whole, like, I didn't know what all was involved with it. I thought it was just like an emote set and like some other stuff. Oh, scary me. I'm tired.
It's that time.
It is that time. And you can tell. You can tell when the switch flips towards the end of the episode.
Yeah.
It gets too late.
Right. We're on our way
Holy
out.
shit, it's so late.
Yep. Sure is.
Okay. Well, anyways, as I was saying, there was a whole lot more things involved with that than I thought there was. So obviously, I thought it was going to be like some new emotes and some other stuff, and I was like, "Oh, cool! It's a fun little thing, a little side present or whatever."
Right.
And then like I opened it up, and I got no less than like 5 different packages, and they were all like, "Oh yeah, here's just like so much in-game shit." And I was like, yeah.
Just to catch you up.
Hell yeah, dude. Just
really
to catch you up. I was like, I already have all the people maxed out that I wanted to. There's some things I need to get.
We'd beaten all the
sorted
proud
out.
quests.
Yep. I finally unlocked, what is it? Not Versa. Proto Bahamut. I finally like Proto Bahamut at the very end.
Man, that was fun.
It's a cool fight.
That's a good
Now
one.
I just have to grind until I get my sword, which I'm not
Fully
looking forward to.
awakened.
I thought that you meant that no matter what, if you, like, after that,
I just saw a gigantic spider
okay, well,
on the
okay,
on the wall.
let's just
It crawled behind.
Okay,
in
well,
the end of the corner.
I think it's time for us to end this episode here. Anyways, what I was saying is that your you're stripping me up, dude. What I thought you meant is that once you've completed all the quests and you can actually, like, you're actually at the end where you can do the Proto Bahamut quest.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying regardless, if you complete the quest, you will get one of the weapons.
Oh.
It just is it's a random on which one you get. I didn't know you meant like it's just random if you will ever get one.
Right.
I was like, oh no.
I've heard it described as cursed 5-bag knowledge, because if one of the golden chests drops a 5th little bag of loot, like how they usually do, that's when you'll know you've got a weapon.
Really?
Yes.
Cursed 5-bag knowledge? So how do you see that?
You just look whenever you open the chest. You just count how many bags pop out.
Oh, okay. So before it all like automatically gets picked up?
Yeah.
Damn. Cursed 5-bag knowledge.
Yep.
So it's one of the 2 gold chests, or is it always one gold chest?
One of the 2.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sad that I know that now.
Yep.
I got the cursed knowledge as well.
Yep.
So anyways, yeah.
I think that'll do it.
I think that'll do it for us. I have to go make sure there's no.
Yeah, we've got a guest to attend to.
Exactly. He's beckoning me, and it makes me scared.
Yeah.
So, anyways, for those of you who are looking to find out more about us or to find where to, how to get involved with all this stuff, we have a YouTube channel. You can go to YouTube and in the search bar type in @Hindsight Studios, and you can find the podcast there that have all of the episodes all up to date. We also have a little playlist for About Nothing, for all of Ethan's stuff. It's there as well. And you can also just type in Aftermath on all the major podcasting platforms, and you should be able to find us that way.
Oh, yes.
But until next time, thank you so much for listening.
See ya.
Bye-bye.